Hey guys, how the hell are you? Happy New Release Friday. At least I hope it's a much happier New Release Friday for you compared to how last Friday was. Geez, there was like a lot of stuff that just wasn't all that great last Friday. We had new albums by Infected Rain, which was kind of a paint by numbers new metal record. New Alter Bridge came out, which was kind of phoned in for them, honestly. It wasn't nearly as memorable as their past releases. Records by Santa Cruz were kind of surprisingly bad. I thought that band is actually a pretty decent group, and there was moments on there that kind of eschewed their sort of hard rock kind of vibe and went in more of a, dare I say it, but a modern metalcore direction, which was really weird for them. Caustic Casanova was interesting. That record was kind of like, hey, if Chaotic Good was to put out a hard rock record, that would be it. That being said, there is definitely an album that I can call Album of the Week. It's not particularly awesome, but it's awesome enough that I think we should talk about it. And that album would be 1349's The Infernal Pathway. So I do consider myself a fan of 1349, and I do like the band. I like seeing them live from time to time. But it's also something where I don't think that this record kind of stacks up next to their older material. It's not that it's a bad record, it's just not as awesome as we've seen from this band before. For those of you guys that are unfamiliar with 1349, they are a black metal band from Norway that has some pretty interesting pedigree in the band. It's not necessarily a supergroup so much, but there's a bunch of guys in the band, who were members of this band or that band. Frost from Satyricon is the drummer, for example. So they've got some good pedigree. They kind of know what the hell they're doing as far as the genre goes. And it's definitely one of those more modern black metal bands. And when I say more modern, I mean in the last 20 years, that they definitely have the old school ethos to them, but they don't want to put out crappy cult sounding recordings. So it's not something where it's chasing the latest trend in the genre. It's not black gaze. It's not symphonic black metal. It's not anything atmospheric or whatever. It's just fucking go for your throat, aggressive black metal music. In this particular case, very, very thrashy kind of stuff. Like, probably the best way I can describe this record, I'm picking up some serious Immortal vibes, so it's definitely in that same school. But what if Immortal was only influenced by Slayer pre-Rain and Blood? That's kind of the vibe I got from here. There's a lot of riffage that's very reminiscent of Hell Awaits and Haunting the Chapel kind of stuff, and even that guitar tone, that slightly honky mid-range, that slightly less distinct kind of tone. There's definitely a strong influence there, and it kind of permeates the record. It's very, very thrashy. Vocalist Raven, to me, is kind of one of the brightest shining spots of this band, in that he's just got kind of a, it definitely fits the music, but it's a little bit gruffer vocal tone, vocal timbre than we're used to hearing from the genre. A little less screechy, a little less demonic, and a little bit more just kind of low down, almost guttural kind of stuff. It's not a death metal voice, but it's definitely a little bit more in that territory. Definitely sounds really, really good with the music. Definitely fits. This record, it's a good record. It's a solid record, and I'm making it Album of the Week because by comparison to everything else, it's obviously the Album of the Week. But at the same time, it's not this band's best material, if you ask me. I feel like this band is capable of so much more, and they've demonstrated that on previous releases a lot. So, to me, this was kind of a misstep for them. It's still an enjoyable record. I mean, there's definitely some really memorable songs on this record, like Through Eyes of Stone, Deeper Still. Deeper Still is honestly a really, really killer song, to be honest with you. But it's really just kind of, as a whole, the album just sounds just, I don't want to say phoned in. It doesn't sound phoned in. It just doesn't sound as good as their older material. So, decent record, but could be better. So special mention this week, Blood Eagle put out another digital EP, and man, I really want to love that band. They've certainly got a killer Scandinavian metal pedigree to them, but I just feel like they're having kind of an identity crisis. Like, certain parts of their tone want to go towards Swedish death metal, others want to go towards a more modern metal sound. It's just really, really weird, and I can't put my finger on it, but I really wish that this band would kind of pull it together a little bit, because they are capable of so much good things. So that's it for me. Leave your comment in the comments section below. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Fingers crossed that today we've got a lot better new releases coming out.